/speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the American Veterinary Medical Association annual convention in Washington, D.C., I spoke with Dr. John Howe, AVMA president, about One Health.
One Health is really a collaboration between physicians and veterinarians or public health officials. For example, in Minnesota, our state public health veterinarian deals with zoonotic diseases, rabies, for example. Animals are sentinels for humans, and humans are sentinels for some infections in animals.
There's more valuable information at avma.org.
Talking about Relief Factor on our...
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner, and Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
Well, this is a surprise. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the WOCA studios. Please, step right up and tell us who you are.
Tammy Griffin.
Connie Ann Pendleton.
Deborah Jenkins.
Cindy Brown.
Susan Schmitz.
Shauna Tanner.
Andrea Benitez.
April Savarese.
We are the Stiletto Network Group, a sub-networking group of the Ocala CEP.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
WOCA.
Ocala. Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Coming up at 10:05. The guys, John Sotomayor from Embrace Magazine, will have two amazing guests on with him today in his appearance on his show. Then at 10:30, we'll have more news of the day. But I want to get to changing the Constitution and the attempt to do so. And it's getting brushed under the rug. And what do I mean by attempt to change the Constitution? In the Constitution, it is clearly stated that voting is the right of the state. Each individual state makes its rules and its decisions on how voting will be handled in its state. That's why it's the 50 states. We're the United States. We're not one state. We're the United States. Each state has its own autonomy. We're like the European Union. You know how the European Union, each country has its own autonomy, but they're in the European Union? Well, think about that except for the United States. Each state has its own autonomy. It just has a central decision-making group that we allow to be there in Washington, D.C. as taxpayers, as the voting public. And it's spelled out in the Constitution that way. Well, Joe Biden wants to pass a legislative law that takes that power from the states and puts it in the federal government's hands. And he wants to do it through a simple majority in the Senate and in the House by taking away the filibuster, something that the Democrats have said for years they would never do. You heard the national news the last 3 or 4 breaks, how there's Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden, all kind of different Democrats that were saying you can't change the rules in the middle of the game because you don't like how the game's played. Yet that's exactly what they're debating right now in the Senate, so that they can take over and nationalize voting. Because they don't like the fact that the Founding Fathers were smart enough to know that you can't let heavy populated areas have more voting power than sparsely populated areas. It's unfair to the people in the sparsely populated areas. The 300 or 400,000 people that live in Wyoming have the same right to have their voice heard as the 55 million that live in California. But if you only go with popularity, Wyoming's never going to outvote California. I'll give you a prime example. Donald Trump. Let's start with somebody that makes people's eyes roll. Donald Trump. He won the Electoral College over Hillary Clinton in a landslide. She won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How the hell does that happen? She won in California, in Los Angeles, and San Francisco. When you added up her wins in the Los Angeles area and the San Francisco area, she beat Donald Trump by 2 million votes in those 2 areas. Not all of California. In those 2 areas, she 2 million votes ahead of Donald Trump. In Manhattan, the 5 boroughs and surrounding areas of Manhattan, she won by 1 million votes. Not New York. She didn't win by that much in New York, just in the New York City area. So she beat him by 1 million votes in the New York City area, 2 million votes in the Los Angeles and San Francisco area. So if you went with the popular vote, San Francisco, L.A., and New York would elect Hillary Clinton president. And it would happen that way all the time. However, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Dallas votes, that's how the country would be run. Doesn't give much for your vote in Florida, does it? Doesn't give much for your vote in Georgia, does it? Doesn't give much for your vote in Alaska or Hawaii. If you went by just a popularity vote, the largest metropolitan areas would control the narrative in every election. Is that fair to the people that don't want to live in a big metropolitan area? That their vote is rendered useless because they don't live in a big metropolitan area? No. And remember, this was originally designed to stop the South from being powerful. Huh? That's right. It was originally designed to stop the South from being powerful. Because if they hadn't written that provision in with the Electoral College and everything, the Southern plantation owners would have made all their slaves vote. They'd have told them how to vote. Well, there was 3 times as many people that lived in the southern 11 states than lived in the northern areas. because there was more land, there were plantations, a lot more people. It was put in as a provision to make sure New Hampshire's vote counted just as much as a aristocracy plantation area like Virginia, that if they wanted to would have sent their thousands and thousands of slaves to the voting box to vote the way the plantation owner told them to vote. That's why this was created, so that large groups of people couldn't dictate to small groups of people what their individual rights were. But we don't understand that because nobody listens to history. You have this knee-jerk reaction. Well, that maniac Donald Trump won because of the Electoral College and he lost the popular vote. No, he lost in New York City, L.A., and San Francisco. Pretty much a dead heat everywhere else. He lost by 3 million votes, and when you in the popular vote, and when you add those 3 million up, he lost by 2 million in San Francisco and L.A. and 1 million in New York. There's your 3 million votes. So by the way that they want to change the law through a Senate action and a Congress action, not a constitutional amendment, they want the popular vote. Because they want to control the national, they want to control the narrative. They want to control the election process at the national level so that states no longer have the right to send officials they want to Washington. Now it's a national election. It's not what Button Gwinnett fought for. Wasn't why Crispus Attucks lost his life at the Boston Massacre. What George Washington spent the winter at Valley Forge trying to create. Wasn't what the founding forefathers thought of when they were in wool suits and wigs in a 102-degree building in Independence Hall in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, in July of 1776. Wasn't their thoughts. They wanted everybody to have an equal opportunity. Well, Tom, that's what we're trying to do. Make it where equal voting rights. No, you're not. I got to have a license to fish. Game warden comes up on me and I'm fishing, I don't have a license. Big fines. But you think it's okay to go to a voting booth without a license to identify who you are? You're an idiot if you think that's okay. And I know a lot of smart people that just got the idiot moniker put on them. They're fundamentally in Washington trying to have a federal coup and usurp the Constitution, and nobody seems to give a damn. The news reports on it. This is a much bigger deal, folks, than whether the votes got ratified by the Senate in January 6th of last year. That's a ceremonial procedure that was already spelled out in the Constitution. The states had ratified it. That election was done because the states are in charge. This is a much bigger power grab. This is a try by this administration to cancel the Constitution of the United States, in my opinion. All because they want to be in charge of the votes because they set the ground rules and anybody can vote that they need to vote so they can stay in power. Well, Tom, the Republicans are doing the same thing. The Republicans didn't ask to do this. This is a constitutional thing where the states are in charge. You don't like that Republicans control most of the states? Unelect them. Make it a blue state. Change the rules in your individual state. That's how it happens. Elections are not national events. It is clear in the Constitution. Elections are to be states' events. States have the autonomy on how they elect people to send to Washington. Washington doesn't get to make that decision. Washington only exists because 50 states decided to come together under one document, the United States Constitution. It is criminal, on borderline treason, what is going on in Washington right now. And some could make a damn good argument for it being treasonous. I just don't understand why there's no uproar about that. You want to get pissed off about something, there's your mark. We'll take a break. We'll come back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
Embrace Magazine is boldly uniting lifestyles as the first ever and only gay magazine in North Central Florida, based right here in Ocala. Recently honored as Best New Magazine, Best Overall Magazine, and Magazine of the Year, all in our first year by the Florida Magazine Association, our mission is to unite the gay and straight communities through exceptional content appealing to all. Hi, I'm John Sotomayor, publisher and editor-in-chief. Tune in to our radio show on Wednesday, January 12th, 10 a.m. here on WOCA. To read our digital issues, follow us on Facebook and visit our website at embracemagazine.us.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3600